Right, so I have returned once again today to actually deliver, I believe, the actual penultimate chapter of JoJo Part 8, Jojolion. We good? We are good. Actually, all good to go. So yes, you have returned to actually cover chapter 109 of JoJo Part 8, Jojolion. What I expect to be, as I said beforehand, the penultimate chapter of the whole entire series. I can't remember if it's next month it ends or the month afterwards. Can't remember, but it's one of those months. Yeah, so essentially, 108, holy Jesus. That was quite a chapter, I must say. That was a chapter that really does, in theory, put in perspective the entirety of what JoJo Part 8 was meant to signify. And now, since we actually have the entire plot basically told us by Araki himself, because Araki literally breaks the fourth wall in the chapter, and actually talks to the audience himself, it does then now put in perspective what we're meant to actually take away from the entire part. And then now, it kind of gives us a different view of the entirety of the before this whole entire event, basically. Like the first couple of arcs of JoJo Part 8. It kind of makes you realize that Josuke is basically just a bystander. Same with Yashahiro as well. They're just bystanders and not actually the main focal point of the entire show, or entire manga, I should say. I kind of feel like that's actually the best thing they could have done with this part. Because again, most people kind of always like picking holes at the idea that Josuke isn't like the best, or he's actually just kind of okay for the most part. And then out of nowhere, at the end, he actually kind of gets a lot better. But now it does make sense that essentially he's just kind of there. He's just a means to an end, essentially. The entire real plot is within the Higashikata family. And I kind of like that whole entire aspect. I feel like that's actually kind of a very novel approach to this whole entire part. Because again, 9 out of 10 times, the actual secondary characters all have a purpose for why they're there. Parts of them kind of did that. But at the same time, they're just kind of like, they're secondary to the main character. Sometimes to actually progress further than the main character in popularity. But at the same time, they're mostly just there. But I feel like this time around, the secondary characters are the main focal point, and the main characters are just kind of existing, essentially. I kind of appreciate that. It's a different way of actually approaching the whole entire part, and I actually kind of commend Araki for doing that. Now, do I fear how this whole entire manga will wrap up? Yes, it kind of has in a way, theoretically speaking, though not every single loose end has actually kind of been correctly wrapped up, but at the same time, we do have is actually kind of like a concrete ending to the entire plot, really, theoretically speaking. The plot that was actually told to us in 108. Anyway, enough talks. Let's get a show on the road. It's actually put on. Twitter actually gone live before I forget to. Right, it feels goddamn surreal to say this actually is ending as well, considering this is actually the first one I've actually kept up with. Well, to an extent. I did kind of take breaks here and there, but for the most part I actually did very kind of like, I was reading this on the monthly basis, and it feels weird to see it end. I don't think I've seen a month, well, I actually have. I saw Attack on Titan end this monthly as well. Anywho, actually on 109, actually is called the Radio Gaga Incident, which is a Queen song, if I remember correctly. Oh, it's a lyric of a Queen song, I should say. Is it a Queen song as well? Is that the actual title of the song as well? Let's turn back time. A new type of plant? The Radio Gaga Incident, 1941. So we have travelled back 2011, 10, 11, about 60 years, 70 years, I think, around there. If I do math correctly. Fingers. Let me guess, by that you're trying to say that your job is being the driver. Because your hands are hurt, you're sticking to purely the domain of picking me up and driving. And since nothing about it was written on the contract when your arrangements were made, you won't carry my suitcase to your car. Is that it? Is that what you're trying to convey? I've had quite a long journey and I'm rather tired. Is a woman of my age going to have to bow my head and ask meekly that of you? That you? Oh, Still Summer. I know that name. SC, I know that place. I'm going to carry your bags for you. Oh? If you wouldn't mind, thank you. I'm a simple driver, and this may be stepping out of my bounds of occupation, but I would venture to guess that from personal experience, that man that you just gave your bags may be a luggage thief. And I do believe he is already running off in a direction completely different from that of my car. Huh? A thief! I have extremely important materials in that case. Please, won't someone do something? Oh shit, someone did do something. Gah! Ugh. Are you alright, madam? Here are your bags. I'm perfectly fine, but what about you? You're not hurt, are you? And thank you so much. You really saved me. It's no problem. Well, take care. Hold on, if I could have a moment of your time. You have quite an impressive physique. What do you feel about doing some part-time work for me? This camera equipment is quite heavy. I need your help carrying it as well as finding a local guide in the place I'm heading to. I'll pay you plenty. How's 20,000 yen an hour sound? It's quite a lot of money actually, even by that standard, I think. Yeah. That's a lot of money by today's standard, even back then. With inflation, holy fucking shit, it's a lot of money. Sorry, I don't think I can be of help. I have plans to attend to. I came here to pick up my girlfriend at the station. Oh, I see. By the way, the plant in that photo, that is the orchard of the Radio Gaga incident. Oh. Oh. Are you with the police, madam? No, I'm not. Anyhow, thank you for your help with the bags. Fumi-kun? I mean, it's me over here. Were you waiting long? Where are you gonna take me next? The amusement park? Huh? My wallet, it's gone. Ah! No way, that guy, damn it. What's wrong, Fumi-kun? Huh? You don't have your wallet? I told you that after our date at the amusement park, we're gonna go get sushi. Madame, about that job you mentioned, does that offer still stand? With the pay and all that? My name is Lucy Steele. Oh shit! That's a name? I was thinking something. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a second. Are they gonna somehow like they're gonna like bam it into like some other part? And I did. I work for a group dedicated to the progress of science called the Speedwagon Foundation. I specialize in botany. Botany? Is that how you pronounce it correctly? Botany and geomorphology. I'm here to investigate that land. Also, it's not madam, I'm single, though I have been married once. So you're not investigating a crime then? No, why would you think that? I was thinking, would you actually ever see anyone for like I don't know, from the past? Because again, they kind of alluded to the idea that there was the whole thing with the hats in the store in part 8 at the beginning. And to my recollection, we saw Johnny at one point, didn't we? That was the explanation of what happened to Johnny and the whole thing with Jesus Christ as well. That happened at one point. Anything else after that point? I can't remember anything. No, why would you think that? Because of the Radio Gaga incident. That place, it's unlucky. People died there multiple times. I suppose there's all sorts of rumors, aren't there? They think the article said one day at dusk, a couple was right around the curve of the orchard making out. It's make out reef. It's make out reef. Good times. Not in this context. It's bad times. It's a road on an area of lots of gently sloping hills that leads to the coast. It doesn't get a huge amount of traffic. Then all of a sudden, the woman said, "I hear a voice of someone calling out to me." The woman stepped out onto the road and started hobbling as she walked. Sounds very much like a Kishiba Rohan case. And right when she got to the guardrail, she started saying "Gaga, Gaga, Gaga, Gaga." For some reason, started taking off her clothes. What the fuck? That's a very weird it's a very weird thing to happen. At the same time, a farm truck happens to pass by, and when the headlights lit up this naked woman, the farmer witnessed it. Out of nowhere, she disappeared. Both her boyfriend and the farmer who'd stopped his truck and got out had no idea what happened. She wasn't in any nearby ditch or hole and anything like that. They searched the whole entire area for her frantically, and all they found on the ground right below the guardrail were the woman's toes and a little bit of blood. That's quite the predicament. So now she could just be somewhere else in this whole entire fabrication of the universe with a missing foot. that just fucking sucks when you think about it. And that's it. She still hasn't been found to this day. Oh, what are you perhaps searching for that woman? I told you I'm not with the police or the government. Are you alright? Lucy's still son? I'm just a bit tired. Are you still a minor? 17 years old? 18? I'm 17. As you live, you'll find something called a mission. More so than a job or something you choose. Something that is chosen by some great flow. Like a command from heaven. Something you do for the world at large, all for the sake of one particular reason. I came from my home country of America to investigate this fruit orchard. I think something there is that I've been searching for a long time. You carry a steady heavy camera and luggage, and I'll guide you to the orchard. I'll pay you 20,000 yen an hour, and we should be back by dusk. Can I count on you for that? Yeah, those are some crazy good conditions. Oh, and they call me Fumikun. I mean, interesting, I must say. I was wondering would they actually tie back to part 7 at some point. Like I was like, would they do it? Would Araki be crazy enough to fucking do it? And he was. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, previous parts have gone back to the past at the end of it all, because part 5 did it, didn't they? Part 5 went back to what happened with the whole thing with the rock. It's massive, like, overgeneralization of the entire event, but you know what I mean, the fucking rock section of part 5. Don't get me wrong, they do actually sometimes go back, even at the end of it all, so it's one of those things that makes sense why they would do it. It makes you wonder how it's all going to wrap up, considering next month's chapter is the final one. Well, apparently, I guess. No, I don't think it's apparently. I actually think it's confirmed. This place is called the Morio Hunting Grounds, and until just a little while ago, it was an area for big shots villas. In the mountains, you can hunt green pheasants. I missed the H at the beginning. And by the coast, you can catch these huge abaloins. There was once a time when poaching out here would get you executed, and currently it's an orchard that's owned by the Hishikata fruit parlor. Hey, there's our name. Pears, peaches, cherries. Want to take some pictures? Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, what the hell? Is this thing you called? I believe you called me. Hey there, are you calling me? You're calling me, yes? Is it not you? I hear someone's voice. They're calling me. Gonyo. Lucy's son, come back over here. Please look over here. Something strange is happening to the driver. He's talking to himself. Gaga. Driver is taking off his clothes. What exactly? Gaga. It's a driver, can you hear me? What are you doing? Huh? Me? I don't understand. I haven't the slightest idea what's happening, but my clothes are gone. I'm butt naked. I mean, it's either an exhibitionist ghost that really wants everyone to be naked for some reason, or some really wacky curse. And it disappears afterwards. Wasn't there a real life thing that not the whole naked scenario, but I swear it was whole like someone like hears something, they go to it and they just disappear out of nowhere. I swear it's some real life thing that happened like that at some point. I don't know when, but I swear I thought it was like an urban legend or something that I heard when I was a kid. Lucy, son. What is? You don't think just now? What's this? It can't be. Where's the driver? Lucy's son. I was just talking to the driver a second ago. Where did he go? Hey, say something. Where do you go? I can't see what happened either. It all happened in an instant. And it wasn't because the sky is getting dark or because there was lots of dust in the air. Just now, a truck turned around this curve and drove off. And then out of the blue, the drivers just seemed to bend over and something, and he disappeared. We couldn't see him because the guardrail was in the way. How? How is it only his clothes are left? Behind. Oh! Hand. My God. Ah! What the? Ah! What is that? Ah! What is that? Lucy-san, this is messed up. This place is dangerous. Get away from this place. The Radio Gaga incident wasn't just some made-up story. Go call someone. We'll look for the driver with the police. I want to go home. Yes, that's right. Fumikun. You get away from here. Go back to the car. What are you talking about? You gotta leave. You gotta leave too. When I was a girl, when I was 14 years old, I encountered a place in the North American continent called the Devil's Palm. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Here we go. It was a rocky terrain and it was on the surface. Yet it was on a rocky terrain and was on the surface. Yet it was moving. Huh? To further explain, the land had a special power to bring out latent abilities of the human heart. A wonderful place that produces new life. But such bountiful places don't necessarily only bring about good fortune. If that bounty warps too much, then it could be viewed as a curse as well. I once came here to this land, the Moriyo hunting ground in Japan, before 30 years ago to investigate something, because it seemed to be in some way similar to the Devil's Palm. And this time, materials about the Radio Gaga incident was just the thing that sparked my trip. When I saw photos of this place, I came looking for a certain new type of plant. The name attached to the plant was Rococa. I came here to the Moriyo hunting grounds because I thought the plant might be growing here. I have no idea what you're getting at, Lucy-san. You're looking for a plant? What in the world? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, that's right. It certainly is odd. I mean, it's JoJo after all. It wouldn't be JoJo unless it's actually fucking odd. The Rococa is certainly somewhere, but something different is going on with this land. I told you, the ghost story was real. I don't care about the job payment anymore. You get it too, right? The driver's gone. He's probably already dead. I just want to get out of here. Oh, actually, I think I won't leave after all. I'll just stay here a bit longer. Hey, come over here. Over here. Huh? Huh? Fumikun? What is it? No, not that way. Come over here. If that's what you're looking for, then come over here. More to the left. You got to go more to the left. Fumikun? Did you say something to me? Huh? Lucy-san? What? In front of you. Come here. I'm right in front of you. I'm right in front of you. You see me? Just a little lower. The guardrail. The surface is vibrating. The still plate is vibrating. Lucy, still vibrations. I can hear some sort of voice. Lucy-san. Lucy-san. Lucy-san, you're talking to yourself. What's going on? What's going on? Huh? I'm not just some voice. I am giving you orders. When I say to come closer, you come. Huh? Oh yeah, now we've got to fear fucking guardrails. You know, the thing that actually meant to save us from like impending death in a car? Yeah, you gotta fear that shit now. What in the world is this? My clothes are... Huh? Ugh. That's kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. In the gap! Man, you can't just go living in gaps like that. Lucy-san, what are you doing bending down next to the guardrail like that? Between the steel plates? What are the steel plates of this guardrail? Wait, that's not a steel plate. No, it couldn't be. Gah. This is so fucking JoJo right at the end. JoJo's been kind of relaxed for like the last, I'd say almost a year at this point. I haven't had a balls to the wall crazy arc in a long while. I love how, by the way, yeah, Lucy Still's back now. Here's a balls to the wall crazy arc. I'm like, all right, ending JoJo how it normally is. An assault up from a guardrail. Next issue, the cover of open colored pages. Jojolion finally concludes. How's the fuck it's gonna conclude? Honestly, I don't understand how they could end this. It's impossible. I was like, yeah, by the way, here's Lucy. I'm like, I mean, I accept, I appreciate that, Araki. I want to actually know more about Lucy still, to be honest. I just don't understand how to conclude this, unless by some miraculous fluke, the entirety of Pi can be explained by a guardrail. I mean, Honestly, it might actually explain it a bit, because I guess to an extent it is kind of tying in a little bit with present time to an extent. I guess with the degree of idea that I guess Radio Gaga incident must have some connotations towards the present time, which is also technically in this context the future, which gets confusing after a while to actually start remembering that. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good chapter, I must say. I mean, for the most part, I do wonder why they kind of went to the past right at the end, considering that we literally, I guess to an extent, the entire plot is ended. I think Araki's alluding to the idea that Part 8 has ended in the previous chapter. Like, the previous chapter concluded the entirety of the storyline, because the curse has been lifted. So the entire purpose of the whole entire story has been concluded. So now what we have is basically just more of context to the past of it, because the past is actually a massive part about this whole entire part as well. There's too many parts in one sentence just then. And the whole entire thing with Johnny way back when, we had the whole entire idea of how, like, in the, as I said during the opening of the stream, like the idea that in the shop they had the hats. They had, I think, Dio's hat, or Diego's hat I should say, and I think Johnny's hat as well, if I remember correctly, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Hot Pants' hat as well, if I'm not mistaken, in the shop. So I imagine that he's trying to allude to the idea that, again, past is a massive kind of ideas. So to actually then end on the past, ending on some more connections towards the present, does actually then kind of maybe then allows us to view certain things much more differently, which actually have a recurring theme within this part, is the idea that we're meant to view things very differently, because nothing is what it seems. Essentially, this whole entire part is constantly evolving. It's evolving, and it's evolving like that to an extent, I guess, because the way it evolves, it kind of then changes your perception of how you see the past of it all. So then now I imagine this will do the exact same thing. This will completely change a lot of things, I imagine. Again, I have no idea. I mean, they had the whole entire thing that Yoshikata family was dropped, it was name dropped in this chapter. I had the entire thing with Lucy still as well. So there's just things like that make me kind of say, okay, that tells me that this might be what it's trying to get at. It's trying to get the idea that it wants to end on the idea of actually giving us more context towards the present, then allowing us to view things differently, which makes sense, because again, this part is basically on its head at this point. There's no way in hell we can view this part the same way ever again with the previous chapter, even more so now. And even now, Lucy Still is the main character, which actually is kind of great, because I like Lucy Still a lot. I feel like I want to know more about her character towards the end of part 7, so that's actually kind of great. But at the same time, I like that we get more time with them, but then at the same time, it might just change completely perceptions on certain things, also give us more context. But yeah, I mean, as a penultimate chapter, kind of weird. I mean, I'm used to it, don't get me wrong. So again, as I said during the opening, part 5 did the exact same thing. Part 5 went back with the whole entire thing with The Rock, but The Rock then explained a lot of the things towards the present time, if I remember correctly. So the same thing is applying here, I imagine. He's doing a very similar thing with part 5. He's trying to allude to the idea that this is meant to be very important. It makes sense. Rock could branch through the idea of like the Radio Gaga incident as well. It might then allow us to actually kind of understand a bit more about Mordio itself. Because don't get me wrong, the entirety of the town itself that they reside in is still a mystery. It's very much the entirety of this whole entire part is still a mystery. Though the centralized mystery has been solved, there's still a lot of things around it we still necessarily don't know. There's very much still up in the air questions that we still need answered. But I imagine what it might do, this might answer a key component of the opening of the entirety of the part. I imagine. I hope so. Granted, do I think it might do it in one chapter? I don't necessarily think so, but for the most part, I feel like it's actually a really good chapter. I feel like it actually has done its job to actually kind of give us a new perspective, possibly, who knows, to actually then kind of hopefully end on a massive good note. Though still, as I said beforehand, I feel like JoJo's actually ended. I feel like it's actually just an extra epilogue in a way, because really 108 ended the entirety of JoJo Part 8. It was the curse has been lifted. Press, everyone's happy. Well, the thing was everyone's happy, because I think characters are kind of MIA'd in health and also vitality, so that's still a massive sticking point. But at the same time, for the most part, the part's ended, so now we're just kind of seeing a remnant of the past in a way. that might, as I said beforehand, give us more context. So yeah, really, part 8's a fucking weird part when you think about it. To give it a rating at this point, I don't think I ever could, really. I feel like it's actually probably around about 8 out of 10, I feel. Though at the same time, it's really hard to kind of gauge my opinion on it, because it's such a mysterious part. It's such a weird part of JoJo. It's not... Most of everything else has been kind of straightforward, with like part 10 being the exception, because it actually had like True Man's World, it had Civil War, and so on and so forth. Part 7 had so many arcs that kind of evolved the formula. So part 7 was like, it wasn't as straightforward as say part 6 or part 5. Part 8, on the other hand, is basically just a circle. It's a very, very, very strange circle. Essentially just kind of does this, and just does that constantly afterwards. So to actually kind of like conclude my thoughts in it, be fucking impossible. But I'm really excited to see what they will do. I'm really excited to see what Rocky can do with the end of it, and actually then what might be part 9. If part 9 ever actually materializes anytime soon. So until then, that is me done for today. So I will be here for the final chapter next month, if all goes well, in August. So until then, if you actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream, and as always, do leave a like, because it does help quite a bit. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream, then do in theory also leave a subscription as well, because both of you help quite a lot. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream, and as always, do leave a follow on Twitter, because it does help quite a bit. You will then know when streams are live, and any other streams I do as well. And as always, until next time with JoJo Part 8, thank you for actually being here. It's been a pleasure. I will see you guys later. Bye for now.